Miss Pepper is loving all these open spaces in the basement, and she'd like to give you a little tour on what's still looking good and what still needs to be cleaned out. Well, this was supposed to be a yard sale video, but last Friday and Saturday were rained out again. And I had seen a few requests about doing a basement tour, so I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to give you one. Now, the past 2 weeks, we've been working in this area. It's in front of the basement when you first walk down, and Pepper has been very pleased that we've been creating all of these new open spaces for her. Okay, so before I give you the official basement tour, I just want to be open and honest with my emotions because hoarding disorder is a mental disorder. It takes a lot of work mentally, emotionally, going through some past trauma to be able to be strong enough to keep going and to keep decluttering. So even though the basement's looking a lot better than it has in the past, there may have been some churning down here, and I've been very open and honest with that, showing things that came down here. And some areas maybe have stuff in it again, but other areas are kept open. And I just wanted to share that it's very important to give ourselves grace during no matter what struggles we're going through in life, right? To just give yourself grace that if there is a setback somewhere, that is okay. It's part of the growing process. It's where we can stop and look at something and say, hey, that didn't work the first time, the second time, or even the third time. Maybe we have to add another tweak to it to be successful. So I just want to share that no matter where you are in your journey, give yourself grace through it all. The other thing that I have realized is the past couple years or 2 years that we've been in the basement, that subconsciously, I was terrified to completely clear out the basement. I really recognized that this past winter because as much as I was like, yeah, I'm going to declutter it. Yeah, I want to get rid of it. There was a little nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach that was like, oh my gosh, that's the last of your hoard. And I feel exposed and I feel scared. That's it. Your fortress, your security blanket is now completely gone. And the emotions I'm feeling is that I'm completely naked in stage with 100,000 people staring at me. It's those same emotions that I was like, I could feel like stirring in myself. And I just want to bring that to light and work on that because I do want to get to a place where I can feel comfortable in completing the task and then evolving into creating this into rooms and spaces that are usable for my family. But I have to honor those subconscious feelings, work through them if I'm going to see my way through the other side. And that goes for everybody. And I just wanted to share my heart with everyone in hopes that maybe it helps you in your journey too. So now let's continue with the tour. A couple of people asked, what was this? And this is actually one of hubby's like workout machines. It's like a band resistant thing that he can now finally use because the past 2 episodes, we have cleaned out this front section. Now, behind Little Miss Pepper is a lot of the craft supplies. Last year, we were decluttering. We started making bins for all the craft supplies that we found, and I kind of funneled them in this corner. Now, this corner was open last year, but again, this is where we put a lot of the craft supplies. And after we finally have this yard sale, I am looking forward to starting the series of the KonMari method on our hoarded craft stash in hopes that we can downsize this and organize it to open this area more. Now, behind the craft stash are bins. Some of them are not labeled, but I believe a lot of these bins are actually hubbies. At least these 2 are. The ones on the top, this one is on the left. The one on the right, that one is our beach summer pool bag. But I believe, once we can open this up, that these are hubby's bins too. And he will be working on them and decluttering them to make some more room as well. Now we're going to be walking in the middle of the basement, and we do have some sentimental bins temporarily here. We'll probably downsize them a little more. But as you walk towards the play area, there's actually a lot of empty storage bins over here. And for now, I'm going to be keeping these extra storage bins because it kind of reminds me of how much we have decluttered and the fact that I can use these in the future as we declutter, as we downsize. And there will come a point where I'll have too many organizational bins and I'll be able to give some away on my Facebook Townsgiving page because honestly, bins are really expensive now. Now we're going to move towards the back of the basement. And in this corner is the play area. And this is where we're going to take notice of the progress. Towards the end of 2020, we had cleaned this area out. But by fall 2021, it was completely hoarded again. And when my Tyler wanted a play area in the basement for 2021, each and every week, we decluttered an area for him to play with. And they have been playing with my old Nintendo NES for the past couple of weeks. They love playing with this thing. Now, really quickly, I want to show you where that fireplace was. I showed a little glimpse of it in the beginning and how this kind of got rehoarded. There's still some stuff in front of it. And again, that's just something that we're going to declutter again. Now, next to the play area was the first spot that we officially decluttered in 2022. And that was opening up this walkway where all the yard sale stuff is. Now, we didn't go through this pile right in front of it. That's something else that we're going to have to tackle. What we had done was open up a walkway so that we could reach all the yard sale stuff. All of this, all these boxes, all these bins, even an organizer, all of this stuff against this back basement wall is yard sale stuff. So when we finally host the yard sale, this section will open up and we'll have a ton more bins. Now, this is the elliptical. Now, this came back down here because I had it in the yard sale last year and it didn't sell. And hubby put it back in the garage. And then I started using it last summer. And just 2 weeks ago, I started using it again too in hopes to get in better shape. Now, this back corner, all of this is also going to go into the yard sale too. So we'll really have an open space after this is all done. And on the opposite side of that walkway is another rack of hubby's things. They're all in one place. They're all in bins. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, past that point, we have never decluttered this back wall of the basement. You can see I still have the classic goat trail that you have to go down. And I promised myself that this is the year that we're going to declutter it. I feel more confident in saying that because I now know those underlying fears that I couldn't pinpoint. I can now process those emotions, write about those emotions, ask myself, why do I feel like this if the basement were to be completely cleaned out? What heart root issues do I still have to work through to get past that point? Because I know that once I work through that and we clean this all out, I'm going to be so happy about it. We're going to make breakthroughs. We can finally clean out this basement and create more livable spaces, like a crafting area, like a computer area, maybe even an office, the gym, the play area, even like a mini family room, living room kind of area. I mean, there's a lot of options for us that we can choose. So as we continue to declutter, as I continue to share my emotions, be raw with my fears, and talk through them, we'll get through it. We can do this. We can overcome this. This is a scrapbooking tower that I'm showing you, but I'm laughing because all of the actual containers are over here on the old changing table. You can definitely tell that this area has not been touched at all. Now, this is the view looking back from the changing table, going back to the yard sale stuff. And looking forward this is a closet. This is hubby's closet too. He has a bunch of things in here that I know that he'll be able to declutter. He just hasn't been able to reach it. And even over here, I mean, hey, here's some actual baby hangers that are probably the last of them, and a baby gate. This is the baby gate that used to go between the living room and the kitchen. This big old thing against the wall is an old air hockey table. Above that is the original dehumidifier that came with the house. We'll probably get an updated one. And these pictures of Elvis and Marilyn Monroe, hubby had created. So those are definitely going to be a keep. And that brings us back to the front of the basement, because here is hubby's workout station. Now on the other side, turned around, we can see our little Pepper going through the goat trail, following mommy, showing you how much work she has left to do. But it's okay. We're gonna get it done. We didn't tackle this section. We know why we struggled tackling it, and we're going to work through it. And everyone knows that my theme this year is progress, not perfection. We're going at our own pace. This isn't a race. I'm not in a race with somebody else to have my basement decluttered before anybody else. I'm going at the pace that works for me, in my recovery, in my hoarding disorder. That way, I can be successful and stay successful. And my hope and my prayer is that this video encouraged you to declutter and clean something today, and to also give yourself grace during the setbacks. The setbacks is where we learn and we grow and we go to the next level. And I am here to encourage you and cheer you along your decluttering journey too.